Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video, all the gameplay you're going to see is me using two 140 hand cannons as my loadout in the Crucible. Now, the hand cannons featured include the Kindled Orchid, an underhyped hand cannon from the Black Armory Gofan and Forge. Mine has kill clip, accurized rounds, and a handling masterwork. Another hand cannon you'll see is my Allstringer, which I featured in a previous video, as well as the tried and true Ace of Spades, which is criminally underused on console due to inherent 140 inconsistencies. Now, hand cannons are definitely meta right now in the Crucible, considering that, you know, they account for, well, it's a staggering 24% of all weapon usage in quick play and 30% in competitive, the comp playlist on console. But it's helpful to note that the top hand cannons used, their last word, Luna's Howl, Trust, and Not Forgotten. In fact, there are no 140 hand cannons represented at all among the top 20 weapons right now on console. And we know, I think all of us know at this point about the inconsistencies that plague this archetype of hand cannon. And there's no need to really hash those out right now. But I do want to talk about how I believe using these weapons is a fantastic way of practicing your primary weapon skill. So 140s are, by design, incredibly unforgiving weapons. So let's consider for a second that 140s require 3 headshots in order to 3-tap an opponent. Now compare that to the same archetype of hand cannon in Destiny 1. You may not remember this, but these hand cannons dominated the Crucible sandbox for years because out of 3 shots, you only needed to land 1 headshot. That's right, 1 headshot and 2 body shots would get the job done in D1. That's obviously not the case in D2, where you have to land all headshots. Realistically, this means that most opponents will, they'll often win the gunfight if you choke a single headshot, unless they themselves make a mistake. So this leads to 2 key skills developing over time as you're using 140s. The first is most obviously precision. So you're going to start taking the right shots instead of pulling the trigger as quickly as you can, whether your reticle is ready or not. So you go from point and shoot to point, aim, shoot, right? Over time, you'll really start to dial in that accuracy, and you can shoot faster and more reliably get your headshots under pressure and at optimal rate of fire. The second skill you'll develop, and this is a big one, is the ability to do damage control on the fly. So let's be real, you are not going to land every headshot. It's not realistic. So what do you do then when you aren't dishing out optimal DPS with your primary? The more you get into these situations where you need to regain the upper hand, the more you're going to start acquiring a wide variety of maneuvers that apply to a number of situations. You'll see a few directional change jumps and shade steps in this gameplay where I'm doing exactly that. I'm regaining the upper hand in a fight where I'm not doing optimal DPS, and sometimes it's a well-timed Icarus dash or a move to cover or a line of sight break or kiting to a teammate or an aerial maneuver that repositions me in a more advantageous location. Titans have a fantastic ability to turn the tables in the form of the barricade. You know, I've played against some scary good Titans who are really good at dropping a rally barricade and crouching to save their lives in a fight where I had the advantage, and then they take me out with some excellent cover usage. This is, in my opinion, one of the best practices for improving your primary gunplay, is learning to supplement your gunplay with movement and equipment use. So now, don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing the use of special weapons. I love using special weapons, so that's not the case at all, you know. Shotgun heavy users, they develop movement skills, skills in closing gaps safely. Snipers develop reaction precision and sightline manipulation skills. Fusion riflers learn how to face an opponent and win. That's sarcasm, don't get mad at me. What I'm saying is that primary gun skill is universal. The better you get with such weapons in Destiny, the better you'll perform down the road in Destiny, or Apex Legends, or Call of Duty, or whatever. It's worth your time to invest in your own growth in this area if you enjoy PvP shooters of any kind. Now, all this being said, I do hope that hand cannons get some tuning, some adjustments in Shadowkeep and you know, the coming seasons, but not just hand cannons. So I think 140s need some love. I won't get into it. I think that 150s need some love on console for sure, and I can unpack my thoughts on those things in maybe a later video. But I also hope that ARs get some tuning. You know, the thing about ARs is that they have great time to kill. They have great optimal TTK. The problem is that nobody stands there long enough for you to get, you know, a stream of AR bullets. And by nobody, I mean it. I don't mean nobody. You know, I'm exaggerating. But the fact is, people don't stand out of cover long enough for you to get an AR kill usually. Hand cannons have similar, you know, TTK. They have similar time to kill as ARs. But the thing is, you can spend most of that TTK in cover. That's the difference. With an AR, you have to have line of sight for the entire duration of that optimal time to kill, while with hand cannons, you can spend most of that optimal time to kill in cover. You just peek out, shot, and peek back in. Peek out, shoot, peek back in. Peek out, shoot, and they're dead, right? And so you can get your optimal TTK, but be hidden from the enemy for most of that TTK. That's the main difference. So I think the ARs need a little bit of love. I don't know exactly what I want them to do. I think that people think too narrow-mindedly sometimes when it comes to buffs and nerfs. If something is not powerful enough, the very first thing they think of is, let's make it do more damage, right? They think, well, let's buff it. Let's buff the precision damage or the body shot damage or whatever. And then when something is too powerful, it's let's nerf the damage output. But damage output, whether it's the actual damage amounts or the time it takes to deal that amount of damage, I think that's a little too narrow-minded. And I have some thoughts on fusion rifles that go outside of the parameters of strictly speaking about damage. And I am excited to unpack those in a different video. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. For this video, I'm going to let the footage roll. I got a lot of hand cannon kill streaks with the gameplay today, using double hand cannons, and I'll cut out my commentary and allow you just to see some of it raw and unedited. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know what your favorite 140 is. I've actually been enjoying using it 10 paces recently, and maybe I'll highlight that as well. All right, y'all have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching the video. I hope to catch you in the Crucible. Bye-bye.
Enemy claimed Zone C. Zone A captured. Enemy claimed Zone B. Zone C captured. You have advantage. Your legend rose. Be lost. Captured Zone C. You have advantage. I need a hunter like you with the red jack. You have my respect, hunter. What can stop you if you fight together? Nothing. The total breakdown in their team structure. Well done. Down. Gains the lead. Hunters like you blaze a path for the rest of us. What can stop you if you fight together?